Hey folks, it's Rob, and this is Lord of the Rings Online, which I have to say I have poured huge amounts of time into. But we're on a fresh character screen because of the first time I've logged into the Crickhollow server. Some folks out there on the internet may have been aware that I played previously on the Brandywine and the Withywindle servers, and I still have my characters on there, but I wanted to kind of start from the beginning with a little vlog kind of thing. So let's start a character. Now, what to do? What do I like to do? I like hunters. I like champions. I like burglars. I like guardians. I even like wardens. I can play anything. Even the runekeeper's fun. Minstrel, lore master, whatever. But I think I'm gonna play. God, the hunter looks derpy when he's a human. Look at look at that. Still derpy. Man, that's derpy. At least that kinda works. Anyhow. Or maybe I'll take a warden. Wardens are nice. I want ranged attack, and guardians don't get ranged attack until I think level 30, 20 or 30. Same goes for champions. Burglars can use thrown knives and axes, but I'm not really into that. Lore masters have lots of ranged attack, but I don't like being so squishy. So that means it's either warden or hunter. I'm gonna go with hunter because warden's an expansion class that you can't get for free. So I want to kind of give you more of the free experience. Yeah. So, do I want to be an elf, a hobbit, dwarf, or a man? And they have their own little starting aspects. Now, of course, my characters aren't necessarily going to look like this. I can still customize. I do like the high-end textures. Look at that. The leather, just... It looks... This is a very pretty game for something that came out 6, 7 years ago. They've been renewed on their license as well, so they're going to keep going to 2017, which is why I thought, hey, let's do a video. So Lord of the Rings Online isn't going anywhere, which I'm quite pleased to say is the case. I mean, it's a free-to-play game, but I have paid some into it. I have bought some things in it. Campaign packs, slots, that kind of thing. But hey, I was spending loads and loads and loads of time in here. I think that's only fair they get some money back off of me for all this time and investment. It's a business, you know? Right, so any of the 4 races can be a hunter. Let's, where would I rather start? Hobbits start in the Shire, which is nice. And there are nice ways of earning Turbine points in the Shire. And I'm never going to come back to the Shire later and do all that stuff. And I gotta think, what with the Hobbit and all that, people like seeing hobbits. Basically, this is just kind of more in the lore. The Fellahide, Harfoot, and Store. It does kind of allow you to modify some basics. It's essentially a racial profile for these guys. There we go. Let's see, what kind of head do we want? Actually. Ooh, that's a big broken nose. That's a little more like it. Hair is not going to matter much, because I tend to go for hats and things. But, might as well get it right. That way you don't have to visit the barber later. Wow. Some of these hairstyles are amazing. And they are quite choppy. Yeah, okay. Eyebrows. Who doesn't love eyebrows? Yeah, okay. Now the mouth. Yeah, I like that one. Okay. Detail. That basically is scars and moles and freckles and such. Um, oh, yeah, we don't want to do the wrinkles. Mole, scar. There we go. I can have a Harry Potter scar. Yeah, why not? And hair color. Let's swing that over here. Okay. And let's give you a little less of the moon tan, huh? There we go. Okay, now you look like someone's actually been outside on the odd occasion. Now, fat hobbit, bulky hobbit. I mean, that's a fairly ripped looking hobbit. Look at those forearms. Wow. Those are some veiny forearms, man. Okay, this is a hobbit on steroids. Mind you, if I was pulling a bow all day, my arms would probably look like that too. Wow, that has got to be the most ripped hobbit ever. And this is not probably nowhere near the fattest hobbit ever, I gotta say. But that's as fat as a hobbit goes. Okay, let's go somewhere a bit more in between than scary. And let's go. So there we go. Now that I've created a character, I'm at the character selection screen for the server. And basically, if I were to create more characters, they would kind of fill in slots here. Right now I have 10 character slots, because that's an account-wide thing. If you're starting up a new account, you're going to have, I think, a couple slots. Please bear with the fact that some of the things I have are just account-wide improvements that I made for purchases over the course of the years. So if you were to start up right now, you're not going to necessarily have all the storage or all the slots I'm going to have, okay? But I am not going to have any other characters on this server, so I don't have all this other stuff I've saved up over periods of play. I don't have all this stuff in the vault, and I haven't made a pile of cash in the auction house, and I don't have any of this crafting infrastructure. I'm not a one-man guild like I am on some places. It's just going to be me, and I'm just going to be starting out. Right. And Monster Play doesn't unlock until I hit level 10, if you're wondering. But that is available for everyone as well as on free. So, let's go in.
While out for a nighttime stroll in the Shire, there is a certain unpleasant feeling lingering about. Something on the air is strange tonight. Perhaps it is only the unseasonable chill or the great darkness of this particular evening. But surely it is nothing noteworthy, for this is the Shire, and it is rare indeed for any evil to touch this land.
So here we have the tutorial opening, basically. This is the first time I'm playing a character on this server. It's requiring me to play the tutorial. The second time I can opt to skip this section and go immediately to the next bit. I have inventory slots here with stuff in them because I have account-wide bonuses and things like that. So I'm just going to open up my bags here and have a quick look and set them up so that they're arranged in such a way that I like to keep them. That's cosmetics, and that's stuff for horse riding, and let's see, that's my 1-year gift box and my 2-year gift box. And this is a bonus to XP. And let's see here. Let's bring up the character sheet. There we are. Yes. WASD. Well, you know. Costuming. Okay. You can have cosmetic outfits. I currently have all my cosmetic slots unlocked. I think if without paying, you have like 2 cosmetic slots. Okay. So this allows you to fit gear in a certain way. Right? Now this gear does no actual practical work, but it does give your character an appearance. Okay? And that's all it does. It doesn't do anything else. All this stuff here, except for the horses, are cosmetic. And let's open these gift boxes. Let's see, add some fireworks. That's continuing swiftness. Let's add a combat run speed, attack damage, and 10 battled potions of restoration. Okay. Nothing huge. Just put bag 1 aside for now. And put those away. Okay. And, I haven't activated the cosmetic outfit. Right. So, there we go. Now I'm wearing it. Okay. Now, as you can see, it's WASD, and I'm using my mouse to help navigate the camera. Bounder Boffin sent me over here. And we have a new bow, which compared to the one we were using is better, so we'll want to use that. And that's an iron knife, which hunters can dual wield melee weapons, which helps make up for their fragility.
Ho there! What's your business on the road?
Now, you can be zoomed all the way in if you want. You can be in first-person mode. You can also be zoomed out a fair bit.
Inside is a spare weapon. You should loot it for yourself, then equip it to use it.
Yeah, I already did that.
Be sure to equip your weapon before we have at it. We ought to test your skill in battle.
Okay. There we go.
Oh my! Did you hear something down the road? Who could that be?
Ah. No, look. It is Frodo Baggins. Or Mr. Underhill, as he might otherwise be referred to sometimes, but it definitely says Frodo Baggins here. Yep, bad tidings. Bad things happening. I'm holding down the mouse wheel to be able to pivot the camera without turning. As you can see up here, that means we're being overwhelmed with gloom at the moment. Dread. Ambient dread effect. Dread bleeds the color out of the situation and
Gracious
generally
me.
causes penalties to
Did
your
you
character and
see
fear. Apparently I'm not allowed to engage the spider yet.
Will you clear the path?
Yes, I will. Assuming I'm allowed to engage the spiders. Right.
Well done. Let's press on now. Blast. I just need to find the key. Ooh.
Yep, more spider webs. Yeah, whatever. There we go. And of course he didn't get that open until we've defeated 3 spiders, of course.
I think we're almost safe.
Drama. That basically means something you can't do much about. But I'd be willing to fight the brigands. Now,
Oh!
I'm out of here. Screw you guys.
Ouch!
Let me out of here. I think it's unfair that I'm unable to escape. See, now here's where you would normally be kicking off if you had made a character before and decided to skip that early tutorial section.
Hobbits seem to turn up in the most unlikely places, Bounder Boffin. Come along. We are not safe just yet.
Yep, follow straighter. Yep. Now I'm being dreaded.
Enough.
Extra dreaded. The eye's on me. Ah!
Come, hobbits. It is safe now.
Poor Amdir. He gets real short end of the stick on this story.
This was a dire turn of events.
Wounded by a Black Rider, the ranger Amdir escaped with his charges into the wild, making his way back to the village of Archet.
There, Captain Brackenbrook, a retired sellsword, has allowed Strider and his companions to stay and take respite from their cares.
So okay, now we're in a dynamic layer. That means there's various instances of this going on at the same time, which bodes well, but that's what this means here. By boding well, I mean there's other folks who are actually doing this at the same time, and there's a limited population per layer to keep it from being overwhelming. So while I'm here by myself at the moment, it looks like, that doesn't mean that there's nothing going on in the Crickhollow server. It just means that I'm the only one on this layer. Right.
Thank goodness you're awake. That fellow Amdir seems very ill.
Well, I'm a hunter, so I use medium armor, so I will grab the medium armor. Well, we're accepting the quest first off.
Do not trouble yourself on my account. It is only a chill. There are too many deeds to be done, all pressing, and none of them easy. Perhaps you can help, my friend. Captain Brackenbrook will not heed my warnings.
I don't like the look of those rangers one bit.
So, this is still basically tutorial town, okay? Even though I'm moving about in the world and able to do things and Archet as a place in the game, this is basically an instance of a place. And this is still very, very much Noob Town, okay?
This is intolerable.
When you are eventually done here, he's got an eye patch. He's an elf. It's a rather thick-looking elf. It's the thickest elf I've ever seen in my life.
What can I do for you?
Let's look at this guy. Nope, thought he was an elf. He's not. He's a human. Okay.
Hello there.
Now you may be wondering about the lighting effect over here. There's hope radiating off of Strider.
Alas for peaceful folk everywhere. It is an enormous task to convince them that evil people with evil intentions will commit evil deeds. Before you try to fight, you must learn what skills you may from the trainer.
Might I take a moment of your time?
So, penetrating shot. There we go.
What can I do for you?
Now, do I prefer daggers, axes, or blades? Basically, in the current setup, They have differing effects. Generally, blades versus daggers. As you can see here, they all do the same DPS, okay? But they will have differences in how their function. So, like, blades are better with parry, daggers are better with auto attack, critical hit chances, and you have a small chance of lowering your target's armor with the hand axe. But I'm just going to replace my dagger with a dagger. And that'll now be in my inventory. Something to watch out for is that sometimes things get replaced that aren't necessarily ideal. This crappy knife needs to be swapped out with this one. There we go.
Do you feel confident in what you have learned? Umdir, my poor old friend. A shadow has
Telling me about the
crept
store,
over him.
which is kind of fair enough. I mean, the store's there so that they can get some money back off the investment.
I don't like the look of those rangers one bit.
Now, you are free to run around in here, but really there isn't much to do until you get the things to do. Okay? There are some shops. You can sell off crap. And I assure you, there'll be plenty of crap to sell, but it won't be worth very much right now. So here's a provisioner.
What do you need?
Here's garbage. I mean, you know. Do I need that? No. 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 The only reason I might want this is because I may want to include it in my wardrobe for costuming. Because physical equipment can also be used as wardrobe equipment. No drop. Where's Calder Cobb? Now, loot has changed, for some of you who may have been playing way back in the day. Loot's now in a loot panel. Okay? So you no longer have to go to the corpse and pick it up like you used to. I think that changed like a year ago.
Well, well, if it isn't the rumor monger.
Yeah, Calder Cobb. Sometimes you're such a jerk. By which I mean all the time. As usual, targets are graded by color. So, you know, the more difficult ones will be... It ranges basically from, like, blue up to, I think, purple. Anything purple you really don't want to be tangling with. I think I saw somebody else playing. There's a black gold spy. White is on level, okay? I'm level 3, that guy's level 3. We're on level with each other. I think there's green for when they're... And the lowest something can be in relation to you is gray. And killing gray creatures means that is basically you're wasting your time. They are worthless for XP. You're going to get loot off of them, but that's all you're going to get. Hey, Mr. Spy. There's also tab targeting, so like you don't have to click on a target, you can just tab. I am not going to take you through the entire tutorial today. I am going to probably finish playing soon once I've explained some of the other concepts here. And, you know, in future bits you'll see later bits, because if you want to play, you can play. Alright? You don't need me spoiling this section, because everyone has to do it. I will customize my user interface at a later point so I can set it up more like how I like. This is the default, and I don't like having one bar of skills down here. It's fine for now, but eventually I'm going to want at least 3 or 4 bars down there. Just because eventually you're going to have lots of abilities and equipment that you may want to be able to use. And I like to make sure everything's in the places where they're going to be, keyed to the buttons that I plan on using them to. I had a yellow bar, so it wasn't going to attack me unless I attacked it. See, like this wolf, I can dance around in front of this wolf. And nothing's gonna happen. Okay? Except he's walking off because he doesn't like my clapping. But this is a thing we need to collect. It's oddly enough twinkling and flashing to make sure you can see it. Here we are at the top. So we're going to go like, what's causing all the wolves? Apparently it's this banner, somehow. Wolf Mantra approaches. You must defeat him! Oh no. Had I thought ahead, I could have set a snare trap, which is something I totally can do with this character. That's this, right? That sets a trap on the ground, and when a target moves over it, it basically gets caught. And yeah, you totally can kill yourself falling. Now, the game will give you stuff as you level up. You will get things, okay? In addition to the loot, you're bound to be getting things like hitting certain levels will pay off with freebies. I think you get freebies up to most levels up to level 20, and then
Impossible! A weakling like you defeated the Wolf Master?
damn right, weakling like me can actually jump my entire height. Look at that. So, see, like these guards are level 10, so they're showing up as red. And because I'm level 4, I think I can train.
What do you need?
No. I do see I did get new skills, though, so they're on here. Maybe they've changed that. There's somebody else. Snuxo.
Calder Cobb is a traitor. danger has found you earlier than I predicted. I cannot decide which is more dangerous right now. Calder Cobb's treachery, or the ignorance of Captain Brackenbrook.
You're an ignorant loser, Captain.
Oi, you there! Let me go! Calder Cobb can vouch for me!
Mm-hmm.
How can I be of service?
And no, I'm not going to read all this stuff out loud. I do that in the Shadowrun thing, but I don't do that here. Trust me, if you want to pause the screen and read it, feel free.
Calder Cobb has been loyal to me since he was a boy. I suppose it would be wise to investigate your claim.
Now, just for costuming's sake, instead of wearing this outfit I've put together, I'm just going to switch back to the equipment outfit, okay? That way you can see what gear I'm wearing right now. And my new shoes. There we go. And let's see. Gotta go talk to Cal Sprigley. And then there's some side quests I can do as well.
Dear looks so changed since last night.
Hey, you there! I'm hungry!
You just want to smack him for that one, don't you? You there. I'm hungry! Yeah, well, I'm armed. Automatically collect the boar meat. And that goes... The boar meat doesn't take up inventory space. It goes into a special kind of quest item wallet. A lot of your currency goes in your wallet too, as do a lot of tokens. It's our piglet. Let's get that. As you can see, it did me no good to try to strafe. Okay? Now, the wary means I didn't die in my first 5 levels. So that's a title. Okay? Reach 5th level without being defeated in battle. Which is nice. And I have some here, Friend of the Mark and Guard of the Ice, and because I've bought some expansions. And of the Fellow Hides is because it's a Fellow Hide. Right?
A stranger, eh? You're the best thing that's happened to us all day. Our best hope is to get help from Combe, our neighbours. They will not let our Chet fall to brigands.
So, they want me to go to Combe and spread the word.
Could I speak with you a moment?
Meanwhile, he wants me to look for missing farmhands. Which we totally can do too.
How can I be of service?
Now, sometimes this stuff is useful for the quest board. Okay? I would advise, if it's at all possible, to not sell this stuff off until you get to town later on. Although I don't think any really much carries over from this section. But generally, you're going to want to hand in things at the quest board so that you can get extra bonus reputation and experience. Right, so that's that. I also want to get bilberries, and I want to look for the corpses. And there's Thornton Woodley. Looks like things didn't go well for Woodley. That is a nice water effect, I gotta say. Look. For a game that is this old, this is actually fairly pleasant over here. And the cutthroats are hostile. So... Here we go round the bilberry bush, the bilberry bush, the bilberry bush. Here we go round the bilberry bush so early in the morning. I always found Lord of the Rings Online quite restful. In its own way. You know, I like the countryside. I like this outsideness. I enjoy the books. I like being here and part of the lore. Now, let's see. Parry, Autotech criticals. You can also be careful. You can take things that you can't use, okay? Like if I want this honed spear, I can't use the spear. It says there and so in red, but I can take it. Sometimes you want to take things you can't use just because you're going to hand them in for cash, and essentially some things are worth more than others. Like this one here is worth 2 silver, 40 copper, while this one here is worth 1 silver, 8 copper, and this one here is worth 73 copper. Okay? But let's get ourselves into a sword. Item rarity goes as usual, as you might expect. This is a yellow blade, so it's your basically slightly above common grade. Let's see here. Yeah, so we want to replace that one like so. Okay. And again, these old weapons are useless for anything.
What can I do for you?
So what's this up here? These are modifiers to your character. As you can see, there's a quiet calm currently in the area, and that's giving bonuses of various types. I have my token equipped, so I get my bonus XP for monster kills, and I'm currently using a Stanth, which gives me bonus range damage. Eating meals, wearing items, spells will give you various buffs and debuffs and things like that, and you could be injured, and they will all appear up here. Alright, Mundo, here's your freaking
This would do
food.
nicely. It gives me something to munch on for a bit, at least.
Lovely.
Celadine, thank
This
you.
is sure to cheer Omdir right up. This tea
Yes,
will
I'll
help Omdir
I'll bring
feel
him
better.
the tea
I
right
just
now.
know it.
See, here's like some food, right? This will give me a +3 agility for 20 minutes. Which, you know, anything affected by agility will be improved. Hey, dear, you want to drink this tea?
But I have not the stomach to drink this now.
Oh, sure. I'm to lie on your behalf. Okay.
Did my tea perk him up? I knew it would.
No, not really. So, I have 2 jewelry slots. I'm now using those jewelry. Here in my character sheet, you can see these 2 ring slots. Okay, and you can also wear a necklace and you can wear earrings. You can also have bracers. So, these rings provide me with small bonuses, +1 might, +1 vitality. Okay, here's your statistics as they run down. So as you can see, right now, +3 agility is actually a considerable bonus. I only have 23 agility.
What have I done? You cannot fathom just how wrong I have been.
Looks like we got new pants. Might as well put those on. Fairly noobish looking outfit. But, you know, hey.
Do not despair. You have done well.
So I'm to ask an exiled hunter to help. And then after I've dealt with his things, that basically brings us to the finale here in the intro. Yeah, we'll cut ahead for some of this stuff. Yeah. So, here we are. Open this door and go in.
I presume you're here to bring me ill news from town. Calder Cobb has shown his true colors at last.
Now, there's an extra thing here. A little extra never hurts, part 1. Okay? This is only... You can only do this the first time with your first character on the server. Okay? Get you a quick 10 turbine points. Then, talk to the quest bestower to complete this quest. So... Now, I've already bought the quest previously on the account, okay? So I didn't have to go into the shop and buy the quest and use the 10 turbine points and come back out again. I just added 10 turbine points to my character. So, and you can totally have a look over here if you want. As you can see, someone likes to kill animals. It's a little rustic in there. Alright, so I need to defeat brigands to thin their ranks and collect information. Slightly better loot on that one. Sprig of allspice. That's used in crafting. And I assure you, should you spend the opportunity to do so, collecting and selling things in the auction house is an excellent way to get some extra cash. Because people always need crafting goods. Oh, I knocked my skill off the bar. Okay. Easily fixable. So there's the plans I need. There is absolutely no need to go and kill the Black World leader, but I feel like doing it anyway. Just because I can. Let's help him out. Be neighborly and all that. I got a bit of loot. So, this bedroll, that's something new. Just should point that out. This bedroll starts up a special instance, which didn't used to be here last time I made a character. So just so you know, that's there. You definitely want to check that out. You get the quest for the bedroll from this hunter here. So that's me largely finished here.
A dead end will surely work in our favor.
Just as a point of advice, some of these dyes are a lot harder to come by than others. So, like, olive dye is a lot easier to get than, say, and navy dye is a lot easier to get than, say, gray or violet. And rust is really easy to get a hold of, actually. So, this is going to finish off the tutorial, as it were. And that means you're going to get the end event, and you won't be able to do anything else here in this instanced Archit. Okay? So, if you're doing this yourself, make sure that you're ready for this before you accept and do this quest. Because you won't be able to come back and do anything else if you haven't already done it. Okay? Now, I'm not going to show you what comes next. I want you to do that yourself if you're going to play. And we'll come back to this character next time when we're in the game world proper. Okay? So, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day. And bye!